Hey y'all, this is Cyndee. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you back to my channel. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are on day 5 of the Inktober Tangles 2023 process. I don't know if it's a project or it's definitely a project for me. So today's tangle is Neiyu. It's by the wonderful Emiko Kaneko CZT from Japan, whose art is wonderful, and you should check out the art example on her step out on tanglepatterns.com. Okay, so this is done in a square, and this is what a single square unit looks like free, and here's what it looks like in a grid. And I have already a video using Neiyu as a focal point, and this time today I'm going to use it in a grid because I just think that looks amazing. So we have a guest in the house with us today, and the puppies. Her name is Kimberly. She is my aide. And say hi to everybody, Kimberly.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. See? Now y'all can get to know her too. I made her a little care package of tangling supplies, and I'm hoping that in the evenings maybe she can draw with us. All right. So if you want an example of what I'm going for, which I, of course, never know if I'm going to get there or not, if you want an example of that, you can go and look at that art on Tangle Patterns with her step out, because that is what I'm going to try to reproduce, because it's just amazing looking. She has, it's like she does Neiyu in a cross and then adds sort of ornamental corners that look like sort of a variation on opus, the tangle pattern opus. And anyway, so we're going to see what I end up with, because as yesterday showed, that you can end up with something and then give it a little extra love and embellishment and end up with something amazing. So that's what we're going for today, is something amazing. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my border lines fairly straight, which is always a challenge. And then I'm just going to cheat and use this little ruler. You don't have to do this, but I want my squares to be fairly uniform. You know, I don't usually care about stuff like this. I really don't, because it's just too much to worry about. But I'm just going to draw this in. I just happened to come up with a ruler that was just the right size. And yeah, so I'm going to put, that's a little smaller, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Every little thing is going to be all right. Okay. So when we're done, we're going to have 9 squares. All right. I'm going to do Neiyu in the cross and then try the ornamental squares on the sides, but we're going to start with Neiyu. I am using a Micron 01. It's new, so it should have lots of ink in it. And here we go. So setting this up is the hardest part, and it's not all that hard. You just kind of have to go with the flow, okay? Try not to stress too much about it. So we're going to start with some little almond shapes, and we're going to make them in a cross pattern. So one not all the way to the top. Keep it really small, okay? And then do one straight down from there. Try to keep it small. Then you're going to turn your tile, and we're going to do 2 more. Now you're going to want to think that we're going to be connecting these, right? And so we want a pleasing curve to be able to happen from here to here and here to here. So we want to just imagine that and try to position that in you know, a positive spot. And again, they don't have to be perfect. So this is going to come about here. And keep them small. Okay, so now we're going to start right here, a little bit away from the end of this one, okay? And we're going to draw a pleasing curve right here to sort of feed onto the side of this little almond shape, okay? And then we're going to aura that. Remember, an aura is just a parallel line to a line that we, have already drawn. And of course, I'm struggling with the shaking today, but we usually end up with something that's okay. And if you make little mistakes like this, don't stress over them, okay? It's not worth it, for one thing. All right, now we're going to connect these two. So what we want is, again, that pleasing curved line from this tip on the inside to this tip right here, okay? Just like that, all right? And then we're going to aura. I lose control of my pen at that point, so I need to have turned my tile for a better result. I will try that this time. Okay, so tip to tip. Like that. All right, here, tip to tip. Which is why it's so important to sort of keep that in mind. Now I'm going to stop here and turn because this is where I lost control of my pen stroke the last time. Okay, and so here's that gap, and we're just going to connect that up. See? Not so bad, not so difficult. And of course, every side is up. So you can wait till the end to do your inking, or you can do it as you go. It's of course your choice. We'll eventually be inking the centers of all of these, right? And in the center, she has just a simple orb. Yeah, and just inks around it. And this is why I'm using a 01 and not a PN. PN has nice bold lines, but when you're doing tiny little inside inking, then 01 is a much better choice. And goodness, Cyndee. And we are not going to get frustrated by our tremors today. Tangle with tremors. Hashtag tangle with tremors. I'm trying to make it go viral. It's not going to, I'm just telling you now. So this got a little close, and so, you know, if I care in the end, I may dab in some jelly roll to sort of open that up, but right now I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now we're going to start with an orb in each one of these little spots, okay? And if it's kind of wide like mine, that's okay. Just make a wide orb. Okay? May not even be an actual orb. Maybe you just round that top. And then we're going to put in flower petals that touch this corner right here. Okay? And again, we're going to touch the edge, or kiss the edge, as I like to say. And then put in these 2 extra petals. Again, touching the edge. Yes, like that. And repeat. Nice big orb. Petal up in the corner. And of course, you want to try to get your elements consistent size-wise with each other, but that is frequently an issue for me, so I just go for it, and trust me, in the end, nobody's going to be saying, ooh, look at that petal that's misshapen. They're not. Nobody's going to care. By the time we get all the ink work and the inking and everything in there, nobody's going to notice all of the imperfections that you yourself will notice. Really take that to heart, because I mean it. If you took a really close look at someone's art, like, for example, my teacher, Annie Oken, I would think, you look at her art and you go, wow, that's so perfect. It's so beautiful. It's so three-dimensional. It's so, and it is all of those things for sure. If you take a magnifying glass to that, you're going to find small imperfections in places where the line went over, or you didn't get something right, or she has those. What she doesn't do is worry about them, and that's a spot, that's a place, a mindset that I haven't gotten, or I didn't get for a long, long time, and it's still something, of course, that I fight against. And I'm sorry, guys, this is taking me a minute. My shaking is enough to where it's hard for me to control my pen, and I'm trying not to make a big mess, which is typical for me. But anyway, you can find imperfections in all art, except for maybe some of those photorealism people, but I can't concentrate that much. So I'm not going to worry about all of this thing, because besides, this is Zentangle, and the point of this isn't perfect art. The point of this is the Zen, right? Right? You guys with me on that? So this may require touch-up. Most certainly. All right, so the next thing is to put these little flower flicks in. That's what I call them. That's not a technical name. I guess they're hash marks or hatch marks, one of those two. What we want is, we just want to create a little depth where these two come together, so that gives the flower looking dimension and makes it look more 3D. Yeah, see, that's nice. That's nice. Usually I only put, 3, but I really want to pay close attention to the inking on this, to the marks, to the stroke of the pen. And remember, the more love you give each one, the better your result will be. Try not to hurry. Take deep breaths and relax your shoulders. Oh, there you go. Try to remember when you're inking that it's not that it's a waste of time, and it's not a race to get finished. It's can you relax into letting the ink flow onto the page? Can you enjoy and breathe into that sensation of inking each specific line, instead of being in a rush to get all those in, so trying to put them in as quickly as possible? That is not the point. The point is the relaxation that you get from the repetition of the lines, right? So breathe into them. Take your time with each one. If you want this to have a really deep 3D look, then you can do a bunch like me. And if you prefer that to stay more lighthearted, without all of the serious lines in there, then, it's your art. You get to decide what you do. And if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, remember, that's an opportunity to maybe think about it in a different way. An opportunity to try something new, an opportunity to change your attitude about something. They can be mistakes and we can be wrong, or they can be learning experiences and we can accept what we learn from them and be better because of it. Yeah? All right, I'm just going to try to... Yes, I'm trying to fix it. Hush. Quit smiling at me. I hear you. So how is everybody doing today? Good? All right. Now, this is the basic pattern with the inking here. Let me ink while I'm talking to you. Now in her grid, when she put this in a grid on her art, she added orbs in here all the way around and then inked around them. So you had a black square with this beautiful little flower-like design inside it, right? So you can definitely do that. Or as it just occurred to me, you could put little aura lines in there. And if you could get them to match on the other side, that might be really cool. But if you didn't, then I don't know how that would turn out. So again, it's entirely up to you. It's your art. You decide what you want to try. And again, if it doesn't work out, then you learned something. And if it does, yay. Isn't this pretty? I love this pattern. It's one of my faves. And I think the one that I did, the video I did on with this pattern that was a focal point, I think we used color on that. But I haven't looked at it for a while, so I'm not exactly sure. So I'm going to add the orbs and ink around here. I'm just going to put in shenanigans. Okay. All right, Simba. So we're getting a package. So hang on. Guys, can we chill? Chill out, puppy. It's fine, bud. Thank you. There we go. I definitely can't fill in the interstices with all that going on. Simba always has to jump right in the middle of the bed, which is not helpful. You know what's great about Kimberly, guys, is the fact that she loves the dogs probably as much or more than I do. I don't know why we were so lucky and blessed to get her, but we have been truly blessed to have her in our lives. And she takes such good care of me. And she is a little organizing fiend, so my art supplies have never been so organized. My house has never been so organized. So she is an amazing person that God has blessed me with in a very real way. And so I know when I get a good aid, I know to appreciate it. So she is much beloved. And the dogs think she hung the moon. That may have something to do with the treats that they get when she arrives, but that's not the point. It's not the point, I say. Now, you don't have to do one big one, orb-wise. You could put little ones in, right? Just make it more interesting, and that might be something. That might be something. And she doesn't want to kill the puppy on a regular basis, so that's always positive. She thinks he's cute for some reason. He's so weird. Do you know what his thing is? When you come in to the house, he needs you to be where his face is and blow in his nose so that he can tell where you've been, or he won't leave you alone. He will... a little rotten, will jump up trying to get to your face so that he can smell your breath. And it took me a long time to figure this out, what his problem was, why he was so desperate to climb up your body and get close to your face. And that's just what it is. As soon as he can smell your breath and figure out that, you know, what's going on, then he's okay after that. So he's a very strange little animal. It's very strange and very rotten, in case that's new. You're going to be famous for your rottenness, Tangle. It's probably doesn't bode well for the first Zentangle inspired pet name. Probably not the first. Probably other people have come up with good ones. That's my Tangle. It's what he gets for having a mom that's a CZT. And for those who don't know, that means certified Zentangle teacher. Which is a blessing. That was one of the biggest pivotal points in my life when I was able to travel to Rhode Island and or wherever we were. I think it was Rhode Island for CZT training. And that was such a blessing. Getting to have coffee with Maria Thomas was a blessing, just a blessing. That is much love, Maria. I hope you are healing well. She is an amazing soul, and her light will shine for a long time after she's gone, for eons after she's gone. She is someone who brings joy to the world, and I just appreciate her so much. I don't think I ever met anybody that had such a positive outlook on life and art and beauty, and she's so positive, and it makes you believe that you can do it too. And you really can believe it. That's what you have to do, is you have to believe. Got all my little stars going on here. But again, this is the reason for the 01 instead of the PN. I'm almost done with this. And I'm sure those of you who aren't staying for the end have gone already, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I don't want too worried about that line either. We're going to mix it in with the squares around anyway, so no big. There. Remember, if you've got a pen, you're having trouble getting the ink to flow in, make sure you're holding your pen as straight up and down, as vertically as possible, because that will help your ink flow. Also, if you're having to ink a large area, then you might try moving your pen in little circles. That can keep your ink flowing nicely. The more upright you are, the easier, more even your nib will wear. Also, turning your pen in your hand as you draw can help that too, so that you're not always working on the same side of the nib. Love your pens. They're beautiful, beautiful things, beautiful instruments, whatever kind you're using. Try to make sure it's, artist quality, so that your ink doesn't run and things like that. I'm not saying you won't get some wash off with microns, but for the most part, they're safe to get wet. So. Just making sure the camera's on. Those of you who've watched me for very long know that this happens to me often, so I get paranoid. Jeez. I'm getting frustrated. Easy, Cyndee. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out. So, I know that yesterday I didn't finish my tile with you guys because it was taking too long, and all I really did was embellish it and use a little colored pencil on there after that. But I know some of you are going to be disappointed by the fact that I'm not going to be doing the whole process on camera, mostly for time constraints as far as editing the videos and things like that. But I'll try to do as much as I feel is necessary, you know, to get you guys going. And like with the video yesterday, it lasted 50 minutes, and that's nearly an hour, and I still wasn't done. So, you know, we can't we can't do them for 2 or 3 hours. That's just not doable. So I hope you'll forgive me for that, and hopefully as we go along, we'll do more long-term projects. Okay, since we're doing a daily on here, it's not going to be quite as you know, in depth and long form. Okay, and I hope you will go with me on that. Okay, so I'm going to do the cross shape. So I'm going to transfer what I did here into all of these squares. So again, starting with the almond shape. The further apart you have, the more of a center to this you'll have. The closer together they are, the less you'll have. And again, take these tips into consideration as far as where you're placing your little almond. All right, now we're going to start here, leaving a little gap and making that pleasing curved line. And then we're going to aura. All right, and lining up the tips. I did a pretty good job on that one. Let's not jinx it. And I noticed the Google AI is doing a much better job at transcribing the videos for me, so I wish I could afford to do professional captioning. I just can't. They're like $150 to do an hour-long video, and yeah, I don't think the videos earn that much in anyway, so yeah. I appreciate the fact that is much better, more accurate now. See, and that turned out pretty nicely. And we'll just shave off some of that extra room there. And I like this middle size. This one came out nicely on this. All right. Remember, if you're struggling with the shaking, try to breathe in, relax. Relax your hand, your little hand exercises, you know, finger gymnastics and all that business. It'll help. And then again, relax. I'm struggling with that myself. This is just such a pretty pattern. You know what would be beautiful is to make tiles, like bathroom tiles, out of this pattern. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Like for decoration in your bathroom. I just always thought Zentangle would translate beautifully onto you know, porcelain tiles. Maybe it's just me. It's not that I'm thinking about the bathroom while I'm drawing. Just, you know. Stop laughing at me, Nancy. Either one of you Nancys. How are my Cyndees today? And my Carolyns. And my Margarets. All of my favorite people. Ms. Oscada. Margaret from the Netherlands. Nancy Gregg. Just love you guys deeply. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all of your likes and and your comments on the videos. Each time you do that, it makes a huge difference. It really does. I'm starting to rank in for some search terms, and so that is great news for me, algorithm wise, for the YouTube to show my videos to more people. So that is all because of you guys' love and dedication. So I really appreciate that so much. Okay. This isn't really, it really isn't hard. It's just, it's a little time consuming. You have to be willing to be patient. And perhaps in retrospect, I shouldn't have chosen to do a full tile like this, but it's going to look so beautiful when I'm done. I just couldn't help it. There. I really do want to get your feedback about the video yesterday. Well, all the videos. I really want your feedback. What can I do on them to make you happier? What would you like to see different? What do you really like? Any kind of feedback that I get is really helpful, and if you've watched me a while, you know that I'm willing to change things up if what I'm doing isn't working for you. So I always appreciate your feedback, whether or not I decide to go with it. It's always appreciated. That is part of how I learn to grow on YouTube and learn to do things better, was because of feedback from you guys. I definitely change up the thumbnails for you guys. So, oops. We'll see how this goes. I'm kind of wanting to do the 100-day project again this year, but again, I also don't want to wear myself out, and that's a long project, so we'll have to see. Maybe we'll start 2 months ahead of time and go 2 months over and just do them like every third day or something. I don't know. We'll see. Oops. Yep, I just messed that up. Jelly roll. I think we're going to need jelly roll in a couple of places here. My lines are a bit messy. Yeah, that's going to be beautiful. I should make a refrigerator magnet or something out of this. Or it'd go nice on a t-shirt. All right. Well, I do have to say that I'm pretty zenned out. Hope you guys are pretty relaxed. I could nap, but don't. Just kidding. If you're watching late at night, let me crack my whip and make sure you're doing your work. No, I'm kidding. No stress. Never stress. Just acceptance. Except I did need to do a better job on the, yeah. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post-production, right? That's what I call the jelly roll phase. Jelly rolls are your friend. Yeah, I like it. Got Elton John running in my head right now. Saturday night, we on my side. I'll rock. Okay, I'll stop. I just wish I could play music in the background, but they won't let me. They want proceeds from the videos, and I already don't earn anything from them, so figure why give it away when I can torture you guys with my singing. We'll get to Simon and Garfunkel eventually, don't worry. Feeling groovy. Oops, I did it, didn't I? Feeling groovy. Are you guys singing the chorus? La 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 la. Feeling groovy. We ought to do our own cover song. Will you be my band? Slow down, you move too fast. Ba-da-da-da. You gotta make the moment last, just kicking down cobblestones. Feeling groovy. Are you feeling groovy, guys? Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I got a little bit out of the lines here. Is everybody singing? Feeling groovy. Feeling groovy. Come on, guys. Let's get those deep voices going. Feeling groovy. La 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 la. Feeling groovy. Sorry. I didn't mean to, have music class or chorus, whatever. Although that would be fun. The Zenders chorus. Could take it on the road. As long as I don't have to do anything. But sing. La 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 la. Okay, I'll stop. But I'm still feeling groovy. I feel certain the dogs would sing with us if we let them. All right, that was a little outside the lines, but still, that works for me. Okay, so, we'll do cleanup later and all that good stuff. So, I'm going to try to, in this corner, do the little ornamental thing that I saw in her in her step out. And I don't know if I can recreate it appropriately or not, but we're going to try, okay? And I just wanted to do in this corner what I was going to do on the four corners so that when I stop recording here, you guys are able to duplicate what I'm going to do, okay? So I think what she's done is she drew a straight line up about halfway and then turned that into like a large petal, right? And then she did like that, sorry, and like that. And then maybe one more. And one more. More of a flux teardroppy shape on those bottom ones. And then she did an opus thing. So it would involve an aura. You all right? An aura. Although it should probably be prettier than mine. Well, I didn't get the other opus thing that was she had, but okay. That's where we are. That's fine. And so I think I will aura the edges like this. I know this isn't exactly what she has, but it's all right. I'm going to do my own thing now. And then I believe she had most of hers filled with little orbs then, which is absolutely fine. So she did tipple, basically. Like so. And then just inked everything in. Like so. So this is how mine's going to end up looking. And the jelly roll is your friend, in case you missed that earlier. And again, just going to tipple. And I think I'm going to do some layering with mine, or overlapping, rather. Like this. And then we'll fill in all the blank spots. The interstices. It's a great word. Just not one that pops to mind when you're thinking about these little spaces, is it? Yeah, something like that'll be nice. And I can do some little bit of contour shading in there, just a little bit. It won't take much, and when they're this small. Speaking of small, let's make them a little bit bigger over here. Just like this. And again, if you guys have different ideas for what you want to do, that is absolutely fine. You do that. And this is how it's going to go. And I will probably do this number. I can get them to go where I want them to. Not my best job, but we are going to love it anyway. That little extra depth there is really going to make this pop out. Yep. Trying to figure out if that was a petal or another opus thing, but no, that's a petal. And if you want to figure out what she did exactly on her edges, I welcome you to do that. That's a bit messy. Why can't I get this to... There we go. Just, come on. Orbs are rounded, not jagged. Just saying. Maybe it's rounded-ish. There. Well. I'll have to get up close to this so I can see my stars and stuff. So I can't do that because then my head's in the frame. So that'll have to be off camera. That'll have to be my post-production love. There. So Emmy's was much nicer than this, but this is my version. This is what I'm going to go with. Right, and for shading, you know, it's just going to be your standard thing, right, where all the lines come together. So in here, across your flower shapes, right here, right? So I love you guys, but I'm going to stop here, okay? And I can't wait to see what you guys do with this online. Hopefully I will get a few minutes tonight to go on and see what's been going on in your world, and I can't wait to see what you guys are coming up with. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for day 6, I think. Happy tangling, and I'm going to see you later. Bye.